I tell you what a difference from Monday to Wednesday from a practice standpoint. Just a lot of intensity out there today. Number 11 came out here, was kind of torn whether or not we were going to go in full pads, shells, or shorts, and put them in full pads. And boy, they really responded. Had probably one of our more spirited practices that we had all year. You know, we talked at the beginning of the practice how excited everybody was when we were starting, and then you get in the middle through those hump days, and now I think the light is a little bit at the end of the tunnel where they can see the end coming. And so just a lot of energy out there this morning, a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, and they were competing like crazy against each other, finishing up with a 3rd and 1 scrimmage, kind of going live of offense versus defense. The depth charts we released on Monday, Tuesday, we released the depth charts. Wanted to have an opportunity to not only review them with the staff, but then sit down and review them with all the players. And this is the first step. You know, so as I told them, if they don't like where they are in the depth chart, then they have a week to change it, because we'll have another scrimmage on Saturday. This one on Saturday will be at 6 o'clock. It will be in the soccer stadium here on campus. Ought to be a great event with a lot of the students coming over. It'll be open to the public, so it ought to be a good opportunity for a lot of people in this area to come and kind of get a taste of what the 2012 Bulls are going to look like. But right now I'm really pleased with the attitude and the effort and the way they're working out there right now. Questions, because I know you're not all here to talk about my football team.
Coach, I saw that Shaw and Jenkins were both held out today. Anything long-term with either of them?
No, neither one. Shaw just has a burster sac in his knee. He should be fine. And Jenkins got a concussion. I know Coach Smith was really happy about that the other day. But Jenkins got a concussion in a non-contact shorts drill. And so really still trying to figure out how that one worked out. But I mean, it goes to show you how important it is just every time you take on that field to take care of yourself. He didn't have his chin strap buckled, didn't have his mouthpiece in, he didn't have enough air in his helmet. And that's kind of everybody's obligation to check the air in the helmet. And if it's something minor and he can be back in a couple days and we can all learn a lesson from it, then hopefully it's a valuable thing. But those are the type of things that we have to eliminate. Those are the type of little bumps and bruises and nicks that we got to be able to eliminate with guys missing reps on the practice field.
Okay, I'll ask it.
Go ahead.
Arkansas,
there's an elephant in the room.
Arkansas, your name being mentioned, your thoughts on it?
You know, it's flattering that my name would come up. I mean, obviously having gone to high school there in Fayetteville, and it's flattering that it would come up. But last night we did a dinner down in Sarasota, and I pulled in the driveway, walked in the door about 10:30, and my wife, who has a way of keeping me humble, and said, "Why would anybody want to hire you? You were 5 and 7." So I mean, I think that puts it all. I think it puts it all in perspective. I have not talked to anybody from Arkansas. We've gone through this drill. I mean, it is flattering. Your name's floating around, but right now we have a job to do. Right now we have a job to do here. We're in the middle of spring ball, the 11 practices. I don't want any distractions with this team as we're building this thing, and it was business as usual as we went out there for practice today.
Would you listen if they called?
Right now I'm not even. I can't. Like I said, I can't sit here and say, boy, I'm standing by the phone. I'm waiting. I'm doing what I do here. That's what I'm doing. I can't control what other people think, what other people say, and I'm not going to sit here and fret over every time a job opens. I am not looking to leave here. I am not calling anybody. I am not trying to put my name out there. I want to be the head football coach here. I enjoy it here. I like it here. I addressed this in the off season when some other opportunities were open in the fall, and I said then, I mean, I think we've got a lot of things that we want to get done here. We've got a great senior class coming back. I think right now the attitude and the morale of this football team is my #1 priority and what I'm trying to do, and all I can take care of is what I can take care of, and that's what we're doing here at the University of South Florida and pushing forward to be as good of a football program as we can be. And I think we've got an obligation to the senior class, the way this team is working and pushing out there on the practice field to do everything we can to get this team ready for 2012, and that's where my focus is. So the media and the stories and everybody will run and speculate and make their picks on who should be next. I'm sure that they will do a great job in researching and do what they feel is in their best interest for their program, and I wish them the best of luck with that process. But right now I'm trying to get this thing straight right now at South Florida.
I mean, do you understand the ties, how your name would come up
Oh,
in this situation?
I do. I mean, I've got a lot of friends that live there and everything else, so it would come up. But again, it's not, I haven't been sitting here waiting, ooh, you know, I mean, it hasn't been when I'm doing what I got to do. I'm doing what I got to do here. I mean, it's, you know, Fayetteville's a great place, and we spent a lot of great years there, have a lot of great memories, and still have a lot of friends back in Fayetteville. But that doesn't have anything to do with who they're going to hire as their next football coach. And I keep saying, I just keep going back to what my wife told me. So, you know, I don't just put your head in the sand and put your nose to the grindstone and get done what you got to get done here.
Regardless of what they do, what about just the timing of them hiring, you know?
Well, it's
a
a hard situation. It's a hard situation for the entire Arkansas family. I mean, because, you know, you look at the wave of emotion that they've been riding and the great program that he's built there. You know, right now your heart goes out to his family and everybody that's going through an awful lot of difficult things there right now. But it's a great place. There's a lot of good people there. Football's important. They've made a real commitment to it. I'm sure there's going to be a long line of people that are going to be, you know, looking to become the next head football coach there. And I'm sure they've got a lot of great candidates in mind. But it's a good place, and I've got some great memories there. But like I said, my home is in Tampa. My home is in Tampa. My wife is here. My kids are here, and this is where I want to be.
I mean, is the timing of it just, you really can't, there really isn't a good way to move forward?
No, and again, I'm just grateful that University of South Florida is not going through that decision right now. I'm glad they're not going through the decision with the timing in the middle of spring practice and being able, you know, those are all things that the athletic director there and the administration is going to have to view, you know, what's the best way to handle it, because it is a very awkward situation with the timing of it all being halfway through spring practice, and whether they keep it in-house or go outside, but it is very difficult timing. And that's why most of these happen in December and January, when everybody can put their staff together, their recruiting together, go out in spring ball, start to work on what they're trying to do. So it's a unique and different situation than what you normally come across.
With your name being mentioned last year and again this year, do you see it as a distraction or a positive for you and USF being mentioned?
No, I don't know that it's a positive or negative. I certainly don't look at it as a distraction, because it doesn't affect what we do out there on the field, and that's what I don't want to let it become, and that's why I don't want this to be about what they're going to do or the direction that they're going to go. Right now, we're doing what we got to do here and rolling up our sleeves here to compete. It is flattering. I think it speaks volumes for the effort that these players play with. I think it speaks volumes for how close we are as a program and what we've done, and it's flattering from that standpoint. But we've got some things that we got to get done here. I mean, I talked about this before. I mean, we came into a season last year with some high expectations from an internal standpoint and what we wanted to accomplish, and you know, you sit down and you fall 5 plays short, you know, and that's something that gets in your crawl, that gets you up out of bed every morning to come to the office to get done what we got to get done. And something like this with the outside, with the media and the speculation and people throwing things around is not gonna defer us from what we got to get done on the field right now, or the goals that we have to each other.
You rearranged your coaching staff a
I
little
did.
bit. How's the response been? How's that working?
It's been great. Moving Peter Voss to the tight ends and Todd to the quarterbacks and Larry Scott to the running backs has really turned out so far through 11 days of spring practice I think it's been a great move. I think it's re-energized. I knew there was a word in there I was looking for. It's re-energized, really, the offensive staff. I mean, you look at it, I know Todd's really excited to get back with the quarterbacks and being the coordinator and having a direct link to the guy that's making all the calls. I know Peter Voss is a great football coach. He's embraced the tight ends, got a great room in there, and he has jumped into it with both feet. And I think really the way every one of those 3 coaches has responded to the little round-robin move we did in-house has been a huge positive, not only for them, but for our staff and our football team as well. It's really worked out really well. And I think Larry Scott has got a bright future. I think this is one more spoke in the wheel for him. I mean, he was an offensive lineman, then he's been tight ends, and now getting into a little bit more of the skills. I think it's going to help him become a well-rounded football coach, and I think he's got a great opportunity one day to be an offensive coordinator in this business. So I think it'll be a great move for him as well. I think it's a positive for all 3 coaches, but most importantly, it's a positive for the players on the offensive side of the ball.
Is Shields okay?
He is. Shields has got a kind of like internal, I don't even know how to say all this. I mean, he's got a pancreas issue. And it's a kind of a deformity that he's dealing with right now and going through a number of different procedures in order to get that straight. They do feel like it's something that they can fix and control, but it's something that right now is just being very limited this spring, and we're being careful with them. But it's not a football injury. It's something that has shown up internally, that they're just doing a lot of tests and making sure that they cross every T and dot every I, that we do it the right way. But you know, with him not being out there, it's given guys like Michael McFarland, Ty Turner, and some of those guys, Eyes of Virgin, an opportunity to get a lot of work out there.
So he's unlikely for the spring?
Unlikely to go anymore this spring. Like I said, we're going to err on the side. I think maybe if we were playing this week, I mean, he'd be knocking on the door going, I'm ready, I can go, I can play. But being where we are and that we don't play for another 5 months, I think we're just trying to make sure that we err on the side of caution and make sure we do everything we can right now, so this is not an ongoing problem for him, not only for the season but later in life as well.
Fall, you think he'll be back?
Fall, I would expect he should be fine. Really, I think it's probably next couple weeks they'll do a lot of tests and figure out the best way to attack the issue that he has. And so I would expect that he will be fine by the fall, yes.
Skip, you guys had kind of clarified on the depth chart that Bobby and Matt are kind of co-backups with
Yes,
right now.
kind of slashed.
How has that competition been so far, and what are you looking for on Saturday?
I'd say it's been great. I mean, it's been, I say great because both of them are getting better. It's kind of like that horse race where they're going neck and neck, and every day you walk off the field and go, you know what? He did some really good things today. You know what? He did some really, I mean, they're going back and forth. I think it's a great competition for both of them. I would have expected Bobby to be a little bit farther ahead, and I don't say that as a knock on Bobby. I say that to say how pleased I am with the progress Matt has made and the way that he's getting better and some of the things that he's doing. But every rep those guys get right now is invaluable for the future. How this scrimmage will be different. I mean, they were in a red jersey last week. This week they'll be live. I mean, it's a little bit different standing in that pocket, knowing I got a red jersey and I have a plastic bubble around me and nobody can hit me, and keeping your eyes downfield when all of a sudden everybody's coming at you, you know, blowing snot bubbles, trying to knock your head off. It's a little bit different standing back there in the pocket, and so they'll be live this week. I'm just looking to see who is ready to run the football team, who can execute the plays called, knows the check system, is going to protect the football, and gives the offense the best opportunity to move forward. I'm not looking for either one of those guys as young quarterbacks to put S's on their chest and carry the team and do everything. I'm just looking to see them make the routine play. Pick up the ground ball at second, throw it to first.
And BJ live as well.
BJ will not be live. I've seen enough of BJ live since I've been here. I don't know, and I think right now there's a difference between those two. Just with him being a fifth-year senior and them being, you know, a true freshman and a true sophomore right now, being young guys, I think it's a little bit different. You know, BJ wants to be live because that's when his biggest strength comes in. He's tired of getting blown dead anytime anybody's in the backfield. He's like, Coach, he would not have tackled me. He wants to go live, but no, he won't be live. I want him to get some of that good work. I think the leadership is probably the biggest thing that I've really been excited about. When you talk about the leadership BJ Daniels is providing, what Evan Landy's doing, Dana Sestanor, even though he's not going out there, is being vocal. Damian Edwards is really growing up. I'm looking at Pork Chop and Mike Linares and Sam Barrington and Kayvon Webster and just a lot of the upperclassmen that are really taking control of this thing, which is what it needs to be. I say all the time, in order for us to be a great football team, it can't be just the coaches pushing. We got to push, but the seniors got to be pulling. And the leadership right now this spring is really starting to emerge, and that's why I say the football team has a different, you know, personality every year, and the leadership of this football team has really been exciting.
Guys, we got a couple of players that if you've requested, Mike especially, if you want to answer a couple more, if you need to get to your lunch, you can.
I'll get to that lunch, and let's go with everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.